Does it seem like no matter what you do, you can't seem to get yourself a solid set of abs? It doesn't matter how clean you eat, it doesn't matter how much cardio you do, it doesn't matter how many hours you spend on the Stairmaster, they just won't appear. Well, you are in luck, because today I'm going to be providing you with the only blueprint that you'll ever need when it comes to abs. I'm going to be taking you through the training, the nutrition, what you might be thinking or doing wrong at the minute, and also some of the myths that surround ab training. And make sure you stay to the end, because I do have a special giveaway for the channel hitting 500 subscribers. And on that note, before we move on, make sure you subscribe to the channel and let's get right into it. My name is Elliot Gibson. I'm an online coach and natural bodybuilder who's been training for damn near 10 years now, and I've helped hundreds of people get in shape. Today's video is going to be split into 3 sections. The first section is going to be me covering the reality and the myths around getting abs. The second section is all about ab training. How should you train if you want abs? And finally, the last section of this video is going to be all to do with nutrition. How should you eat if you want a solid set of abs? Part 1, what are some of the realities and myths surrounding abs? Harsh reality number 1, some people are going to find it a lot easier than you to get abs. This is just genetics, and this is something that you have absolutely no control over. Not all men are born equal, and some guys just find it easier to get abs. A lot of the time it is just down to body fat distribution. Like for myself, if I gain a lot of weight, a lot of that body fat goes to my glutes and my lower back as opposed to my abs, whereas somebody else, it might go onto their stomach. Which nicely brings me on to the second reality, which is some people are going to have to suffer to get a set of abs. Basically what I'm saying is some people are going to require more restriction, and you've got to think, is that restriction worth it to get those abs? Next reality or myth, I guess, is abs aren't really an indicator of good health. Just because somebody has a set of abs, it doesn't mean that they're healthy. And it doesn't also mean that you're gonna have a better quality of life. Abs are literally just a marker of muscularity and how lean you are. That's about as far as it goes. Reality number 4, you might need to sacrifice muscle elsewhere to get abs. So for you to get lean enough to get abs, you might need to lose some size on your arms, your legs, your back. Again, are you willing to do that? And the last myth is the quote, abs are made in the kitchen, which kind of, but not really. We'll get more onto that in the later sections. Section number 2, how should you train if you want to get abs? I feel like it's pretty common for people to, as soon as they think of ab training, they go into kind of like these circuits, and they treat their ab training a lot differently to how they would treat their arm training, their chest training, their back training, and all the principles that have helped people grow their arms and their chest, etc., go out the window when it comes to abs. Progressive overload is still absolutely essential if you want to grow your abs. If you want the abs to get stronger and thicker, we need to make sure that over time you're getting stronger. We're applying those principles of progressive overload. Personally, I'll do around 6 to 8 sets per week. I'm working within the range of 8 to 15 reps, relatively heavy to moderate weight. And of course, like any other muscle I'm trying to grow, I'm going to be working to failure. I'm going to go until I can't do another rep. Exercise wise, I'm going to favor movements that take me through that flexion and extension through the spine. So things like an ab crunch or a rope crunch, and also a decline crunch as well, like almost like a reverse style of a crunch, are going to be good options. I would also include some form of hanging leg raise in there as well. You could also add in some extra oblique work as well, and one way that you can do that is actually setting yourself up on a cable. So if you set yourself up, almost position yourself sideways, then again, you're still going through that crunching motion, but you're moving laterally. Me personally, I don't really do too much oblique work, but again, if you want to grow your obliques or show your obliques more, you need to train them. And a little extra tip with ab training as well, when you crunch, when you go into that contraction, make sure you actually breathe air out. The ab musculature is actually involved in the process of exhalation. So we're actually going to get more activation of the abs when you breathe out as you contract. So moving on to the third and final part of the blueprint, which is how should you eat if you want a solid set of abs? And in my opinion, I think it's the most interesting part of the whole equation. If you want to see your abs, you're going to have to lose some body fat. So we know that you're going to need to be in a calorie deficit, and you're going to need to be able to sustain that deficit for a long period of time. The reason being is most people, for most guys especially, body fat around their stomach area, around that ab area, is the last to go. And in terms of survival, it kind of makes sense. In terms of protecting the organs, in terms of protecting the area of your body that needs the most protection, it makes sense that you're going to hold a little bit more body fat in that area. But that does mean that we need to be able to sustain that calorie deficit for quite a while. Like most people, you're not going to just get abs within 6 weeks. So first thing that we're going to do when it comes to setting up your diet is initially setting up a calorie goal that we can stick to. For a little bit more of a conservative approach, I would opt to take 300 calories away from your maintenance calories. Your maintenance calories are essentially the calories or a range of calories that allow you to sustain your body weight. Take 300 from that, and you're going to end up obviously being in a calorie deficit. How do we work out our maintenance calories? Of course, it's not the main subject of the video, but one method that I really like to use with a lot of my clients is getting them to weigh themselves every day across the week alongside tracking their calories, and we'll begin to then see a trend. Like let's say on average they're eating around 2,000 calories a day and their body weight stays the same. We found that their maintenance is about 2,000. If their body weight is going up on 2,000, that means that their maintenance is a little bit lower. I find that using calculators online, yes, it can give you a number, which means you can obviously start with something, but it doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to be accurate. Now, what do we do in terms of macros? We want to make sure that we're really prioritizing our protein here, because we do want to make sure that we're sustaining as much muscle as possible. And if you're training your abs as well, we want to be able to build on that, and protein is necessary. For most people, I'd recommend between 1 to 1.5 grams of protein per pound of body weight. In terms of fat, I wouldn't really end up going any lower than 0.3 grams per pound of body weight. And reason being is fats are really going to help you just feel good. They're going to help you feel normal. They're going to help you feel like a human being. Fats play a pivotal role in cognition. They play a pivotal role in hormone production as well, and also your sleep. So plummeting your fats way too low is just going to make you feel terrible. You need to be able to actually function day to day properly. And of course then that means the rest of your calories are going to be made up of carbohydrates. In terms of food choices, we want to make sure we're picking foods that are pretty high on the satiety index. So foods like potatoes, oats, strawberries are really good in terms of filling you up. You want to really avoid and limit those kind of highly processed, highly palatable, like ultra processed foods, even McDonald's and Five Guys or whatever, just because it's going to involve a lot of calories but not a lot of volume. And when we eat foods that are high in volume but lower calorie and high in fiber, they're going to fill us up a lot more, and it's going to mean that we're going to be able to sustain the diet for a longer period of time. Like I said, to get a set of abs, you're probably going to need to diet for a good chunk of time. We can't just rely on willpower to try and get abs. For most people, that's going to result in you failing. And for most people, that's the reason why they fail. They eventually just get so hungry, or they essentially starve themselves and they think they can just power through it. You will have a breaking point. So pick foods that are actually satiating to you. And at the end of this diet, some people are going to see those abs within 8 weeks. Some people are going to see them in 30. And you really have to weigh up if it's worth it for you. And guys, that pretty much wraps up the entire blueprint, the part you've been waiting for. And thank you if you had stayed to the end of the video. You're in for a treat. So I am doing a giveaway because my channel has passed 500 subscribers, which is awesome. I think now we're on around like 760, which is incredible. So as a thank you to you guys, I'm going to be giving away a month of coaching for free to one winner. All you have to do is comment abs below this video, ABS below the video, share the video to your Instagram story, and tag me at elliotgibson.coach. The winner will be announced on the 15th of October. Entries close on the 13th of October. I will be announcing a winner on the 15th of October. You can enter as many times as you want. If you have any questions, please just drop a comment, or like I said, message me on Instagram at elliotgibson.coach. Good luck, all the best, and thank you for subscribing. Hope you enjoyed this one today, and I'll see you next time.